Alright guys, back at it with this 94 here. So we are in reassembly phase. So I've already kind of started that. The inner spring was a little bit tricky to get that thing in there, so I got that started. Also the inner guides, right? Put those in there just because, you know, kind of filming and installing those would have been super boring. So I'm going to start with the feed ramp here. That's what we're going to do first, and that is right here. Let's get that lined up. Get that threaded in there. That inner spring is the tensioner for this. Hear that click? That's what pops that ramp up to feed the next cartridge. And make sure that's nice and tight. Once that's installed, then we can add our you know, little cartridge feed door here. I don't know what the names of this stuff is if you can't tell, so light me up in the comment section. I can't wait to hear what people have to say. Like I said, I'm not a lever guy, but I want to be. But with that feed ramp installed, this actually I think is a lot easier. You have something to kind of help you hold it in there and allow it to bite. There we go, that's nice and tight. Works as advertised. Let's see. Alright, so the next piece that needs to be installed is the bolt assembly and the lever. Okay, and this is probably, so I've already done this a couple times. Okay, this is not a one-shot video, and kind of figured it out, you know, but we have to do the bolt assembly next because the trigger assembly can't really go in until all that is in place because the hammer's in the way. All right, so with the bolt assembly includes the firing pin. Firing pin has a notch where the pin, right, and the receiver is going to pin that to the bolt assembly, and it's also has this slot in the side of it from a top-down view where the lever hook, right, will set in there to actuate the bolt from the lever. So at the back of the firing pin there's a little angle here, and that needs to match the angle at the back of the firing, or the bolt assembly, and then maintain that orientation. So we'll put this guy in here because nothing's in the way. Get this all out of the way here. The lever and bolt hook are going to go through the slot in the lifter, right? And let's just snap this thing up, get that out of the way. And now this is the only, really the only tricky part of the whole thing, is getting all these three components lined up so that, oh, I screwed myself. Getting all these lined up so that you can get that pin started, right? So this is like the toughest part of the whole deal. And I'm looking through the hole. I'm not going to worry about the camera because this is finicky. I'm going to get the pin started. All right. And then there we go. Just move the lever around until that pin just falls in. No reason. I didn't use a mallet to get anything apart on this thing, so I'm going to try, you know, really hard not to use a mallet to put anything back together. All right, once the bolt assembly is installed, and we're definitely, like, the lever is attached to that bolt, everything's good there. We can install the I guess this is called firing pin block. Like I said, I'm not a lever guy. I don't know what the names of any of this stuff is. So light me up in the comments, that's fine. But we've got to attach this to the lever assembly. Now that can be pinned. And everything's been clean, everything's been lightly lubed. Again, use a little bit of Hoppe's on some of the moving parts here. There we go. Screw this down. All right. Nice and snug. Now we can go for trigger assembly and the hammer. Okay, this is another, it's not as tricky, but it's not the easiest thing either. You got to get the bolt out of the way. We're going to line the hammer up with this hole in the trigger assembly, and let's see if we can get that accomplished here. All right, this is in the way. There we go. Yeah, this is tricky too. There's not a lot of tension on that main spring, but there's just enough to make it, you know, a little bit tricky. I seem to have got it here. There we go. Not that bad. Actually, I'm not going to tighten that up till last because I've got to set that lower tang. I want this to float a little bit. I'll soak that up with the buttstock and then tighten that thing last. So let's do that now. Let's put the buttstock on this thing. Actually, I forgot my cap. Let's make sure we get this in here and not lose this small part. So the bolt pin cap. Nice. Oh gosh, this bolt is eating my towel here. There we go. All right, buttstock. Go in there just like that. Like I said, this is not like a crazy piece of wood here, but it's not bad. Try to not to gall this thing up as best I can. All right. Now that's set. Now we can go back, finish this guy off. There we go. All right. That's pretty much getting there now. All right, forearm stock's pretty straightforward. Put the forearm stock on first, then the band. And I want my bolt heads to be on the same, and my screw heads to be on the same side. So I'm gonna put that on with some care, right? Next, you're gonna get out here and you're gonna put on your muzzle end band, right? And then slide the tube on. Like that. Now on this tube and on the barrel there's a notch, so there's really only one way for this to go, and it lines up nicely. Let's get our screws. Short screw goes at the muzzle end. Get that tightened down. All right, and our long screw at the back band here. Trying to be very deliberate. I seem to be much more deliberate. I'm screwing things in than when I'm taking things out. Trying not to gall anything. All right, plunger, pretty straightforward. Just throw it in the hole. Let that go all the way down. We will put the spring in, and this is just like an 870 or 1187, whatever, like any type of shotgun. Not too bad. A little bit annoying, but it's doable. Hopefully we don't suck a bunch of towel fibers in there. I need a mat. All right, final piece of the puzzle is the cap. And cap has the cap has threads on one side and just the through hole on the other. We want the threads on the top side. There is a little hole drilled in the bottom of the barrel that this pin fits into. So here again, there's like one way to put this thing together. It's hard to screw this up. Here we go. Get this thing tightened down. Make sure we're getting the center of the hole here so that that screw can center itself. I don't want this to look like a Boy Scout did it. There we go. All right, there you have it. Fully assembled Model 94. Let's check the action on this thing. All right. So we'll make sure the safety works. Shouldn't go off. Once this is depressed, then it'll go off. Nice. Half cock, full cock, fire, rack. This thing's ready to do some. This thing is ready to do some cowboy stuff. All right, guys, don't be intimidated by this thing. This is really well thought out, well designed firearm right here. All right. Good luck with yours. I can't wait to get this thing out on the range to do a little plinking with this thing. All right. Thanks a lot. See you later.